Today we're going to be talking about SMART goals. We often use very vague language. There's something in humans called similarity bias, which is the idea that I think that you know the things that I know and you think the same way that I do. And so oftentimes we ask people to do things and we just assume that they're going to understand what we mean by that, even though we use very vague language, because we assume that the way we want it done is the most obvious and logical way to do it. So, for example, here's an interaction where a man says, "Can you get everything ready for Friday's meeting?" And the woman says, "Sure." Neither of them know that when he says get everything ready for Friday's meeting, he means do a room reservation, make an agenda, send out all the calendar invites, and make sure it's done by end of day Wednesday so that everything's ready for Friday. She's thinking, oh, I got to do a PowerPoint deck, an audio-visual check, make handouts, and it just needs to be done before the meeting Friday afternoon. And so both of them think that they have an understanding, but they're actually thinking about two different things. And the point of SMART goals is to avoid these types of situations, to make sure that when you delegate your task to someone, that they understand specifically what you want. And also when you set goals for yourself, that you understand specifically what you're trying to achieve so you can make good decisions about where to put your time and your effort and your resources. I'll be honest, a lot of students don't like SMART goals. They find them kind of tedious or boring, and I absolutely get that. I absolutely understand that. The reason I'm teaching them, though, is they are just an incredibly fundamental skill. They are the fundamental management skill. Knowing how to set goals allows you to improve yourself. It allows you to coordinate activity with the people on your team. It allows you to delegate responsibility to other people in a very effective way. And you'll see if you take higher up leadership courses that goals become the foundation of entire systems of management, like objectives and key results and management by objectives. They're all goal driven. So I understand that they can be a little bit boring and a little bit tedious, but they're incredibly important. Today we're going to talk about SMART goals, and I'm sure you've heard of SMART goals before. Everyone has their own acronym for it, so I'm going to give you my favorite. S is for specific, M is for measurable, A is for ambitious, R is for relevant, and T is for time-bound. And for each of these characteristics of effective goals, we're going to have a little guest pop up and ask us some questions about it. So for specific, we're going to have an old-timey detective, and he's going to ask us who, what, and where. For measurable, we're going to have a scientist, and he's going to ask us how can we put a number on it. For ambitious, we're going to have a businesswoman, and she's going to ask us, is it challenging enough? For relevant, we're going to have a philosopher, and he's going to ask us why. And why are we doing this? What's the point of the goal? And for time-bound, we're going to have death, and he's going to ask us when's it all going to be over? And together, by answering all these questions, we can make sure that our goal has the information it needs to be effective. We're going to start out by talking about specific, measurable, and relevant, because even though they don't go together on the acronym, they do go together conceptually.